Hey friends, it's Latoya McBean Pompey, and in this video I'm going to speak with you guys about a child by the name of Jose. Jose is 5 years old, guys, and he is applying for adjustment of status to get his green card right here in the US. And so the question is Jose going to get his green card? I'm talking about public charge, because it changed the face of immigration in the US when it was implemented on February 24th. And so that's the reason why I'm so hyper focused on it. And a lot of people are very concerned about it because it's going to really lead to a lot of denials for the green card, the immigrant visa, and even non-immigrant visa if you're on the outside of America applying to come here temporarily for some purpose. So this affects so many people. Stick with me in this video all the way to the end, guys, because in the end I'm going to share some additional tips to think about when you are applying for your child to get a green card. So without further ado, let's go right into it. This fact pattern, friends, comes directly from the government. Again, right? They have various scenarios in the USCIS policy manual, and this is one of the scenarios that the government has presented to us so that we could think about or understand how they're going to adjudicate these applications going forward. But there's a lot of issues, actually, friends, with a number of these scenarios. Some of them don't even make sense. But in any event, it's there for us to understand what they're going to be doing behind the scenes when they're looking at green card applications. Let's talk about Jose for a moment here. So Jose, he is seeking adjustment of status. He is 5 years old. He has no income and no assets. Like, what 5-year-old do you guys know who have income, right? But he has no income or assets. He's in kindergarten and he's learning English. The medical examination report, the I-693, doesn't report any major or any health issues actually concerning him. So he's in good health. He lives with his parents and his sibling. The household income, friends, is $70,000, which is amazing, because for a family of four, Jose is part of a family of four, the government only requires a household income, friends, of $32,187. And so the fact that his household income is $70,000 means that he is over 250% of the federal poverty guidelines, because 250% of the federal poverty guidelines for a family of four is $64,375. So let's keep going. $70,000 is the household income. He has never received any public benefits. He has private insurance through his parents' employment, which is good. And also his uncle, who is the petitioner here, the uncle petitioned for his brother, and the brother is Jose's dad. So the uncle submitted the I-864, the affidavit of support, and on behalf of Jose and the rest of Jose's family, because the uncle is petitioning for all of them, right? And so the uncle's income is $105,000, which is great for a family size of 5, because the uncle is now thrown in there. The uncle is single, and then Jose's family, he has a household, it's 4 of them, right, in Jose's family. So Jose provided evidence to the government that he's not going to be eligible for public benefits once he gets his green card, which is a great thing. Now let's talk about his positive factors versus his negative factors. So positive factors include the fact that he had no public benefits. He had not received any public benefits. He's attending school like a good 5-year-old should, right? He's attending school. His I-864 comes from a close relative, his uncle, and that uncle's income is $105,000, which is very strong for a family of 5. He is also healthy. He has private health insurance, and his household income is $70,000 for a family of 4. Now, what are his negative factors, guys? So he's Only 5. So we can't quite put him to work yet in America, right? So the government considers his age as a negative factor. And they say that here because it's a negative factor if the applicant is under 18. Remember that. Also negative, the fact that he has never worked and he is applying for lawful permanent resident status, LPR status. That's a negative thing. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, why is that negative? Why would that be a negative thing? Well, the way the government analyzed it here is that once he becomes a green card holder, 5 years after that, he's going to become eligible for public benefits. And so on the one hand, it's strange, right? Because the government gives a benefit, an immigration benefit, and then turns around and says, actually, you receiving that benefit is actually a negative thing because by you getting that benefit, it makes you eligible for other benefits in the future. And so we don't like that. It's a negative thing. And that's quite absurd, right? Quite absurd. So to counter this issue here, what Jose's family did was they included evidence that although he is applying for a green card, in 5 years, he's not going to become eligible for public benefits. Why not? Because the income is too much of the household size, which makes him ineligible for public benefits. So friends, this is the scenario involving a child applicant seeking adjustment of status and how the government is going to be looking at these child applicants. So here are a few things I want you guys to keep in mind going forward. This question came from a number of you, as a matter of fact, involving the children, right? Because you're trying to either bring your children to America or the children are here and they're going to go through the adjustment of status process and you're concerned. And so the first thing you need to know is that if the child is here in America and that child is seeking adjustment of status, the child will need the I-944 submitted on his or her behalf. The instructions for the I-944 specifically says that if you're under 21 and unmarried, here's all the things you need to include in this I-944. And you've got to talk about yourself and your income and all of that, which may seem absurd to you because we're only talking about a 5-year-old here, right? But that I-944 includes income from the household members. So that I-944 has to include data about his parents, their financial situation, their history, whether they filed for bankruptcy. They've also got to submit tax transcripts and all of that. So it's the household members' data that the government will really be paying very close attention to when it involves a child applicant. Next, because it's a child applicant, friends, the next thing that you need to keep in mind is that more weight will be given to the parents or guardians and their income, their financial standing, their ability to take care of themselves and their family. And so a lot of that weight is going to be shifted to the parents or guardian, and certainly having a strong affidavit of support sponsor is also very important as well. And then keep in mind, age is a negative factor. Age is a negative factor. And so, friends, this is where we are right now with public charge. Public charge is considering a whole lot of things as we've been talking about the applicant, right? We call it the totality of circumstances. And when you're looking at a 5-year-old child, as the government is looking at a 5-year-old child, the government is asking itself all these questions concerning this 5-year-old and also sizing up that 5-year-old, but shifting a lot of the focus really to the parents and then other household members and of course the affidavit of support sponsor. One other thing I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about Jose's positive factors here, two major things that or benefits or advantages or positive factors that Jose has is the private health insurance, guys, private health insurance and the income being 250% above the poverty guidelines. These two right here are incredibly positive and heavily weighs down the application. So, of course, the government concludes that Jose indeed will get that green card. So this is the analysis in this one. You know, comment below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see you in the comments, and be sure to share this video with other people. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.